here's how I usually am when he's here.
So I'll send you.
No, they go, you don't need to look at me, I don't have to look at him. I don't get that up, I gotta hear him. I gotta listen to him breathe. He's always cooking his pen and doing something. It don't bother me, it's Sandy, it bothers Sandy. She sees it all, I said, I don't know, look at him.
Hey, what up, man?
I've already talked to a few people. They said they didn't want the others, they just don't care for your period. But I gotta go. I'm not gonna go where I've already done it. Well, I've gotten her out there. So, and it'll help that I told her just to put it on the information, flyers, or whatever I told her. Toward my council before, and I said, hey, some of the other people here were waiting for shit. I said, you're not just counting it, so.
Up the game. Him and his brother. Yeah. Well, his brother was a little younger. Kenny was at least old enough to tag him around. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We'll do it right now.
Thank you. They've all been,
How you doing, Chief?
so they all got it. I told them all, if they didn't know, they had to call me.
Okay.
So
Nice to meet you.
they should all be squared away with that. Sir?
I've seen my buddy out there.
Yeah, he's getting it. He's doing well. I think he'll be a good. Yeah, he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's always willing to volunteer, which is big. He doesn't hesitate to help. That's always nice.
I told him to stay out of my neighborhood. I said, what?
You should walk in your neighborhood.
Can't keep looking out my brothers. They should be walking. I've never heard of you.
Every other day.
Somewhat, yeah.
Every day. One of your chairs.
Stop, man.
That's what you with this chair.
Is every day around?
Every day.
I didn't mean to do that.
I'm sitting there.
Yes.
I'll look, I'll ask him.
Wow, thank you.
Not officially yet.
They told me about this meeting.
I'll leave you with that. No definitive response.
Can't teach you well, I didn't learn.
Welcome to the regular meeting of Bedford City Council of July 7th, 2025. Do we please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, call a roll, please.
Cochee?
Here.
Spinks? Here. Fluharty?
Here.
Smith?
Here.
Asbury?
Here.
Longino?
Here. And can I have a motion to excuse Councilman Salvi for tonight? By Asbury, second by Longino. Call the roll, please.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks? Yes. Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes.
And I need a motion to amend the agenda to add ordinance number 52-25 and number 53-25. A motion for such by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll, please.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks? Yes. Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes.
Council, you have the minutes of the work session of June 2nd, 2025. Any corrections? Seeing none, can I have a motion for acceptance by Smith, second by Asbury. Call the roll, please.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks? Yes. Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Abstain.
Longino?
Yes.
And you have the minutes of the regular meeting of June 2nd, 2025. Any corrections to that? Seeing none, can I have a motion for acceptance by Spinks, second by Fluharty? Call the roll, please.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks? Yes. Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Abstain.
Longino?
Yes.
Okay, well, one of my favorite things to do here is swear in a new officer. And Mr. Smith, if you could please come forward. Go back here so everybody on camera can watch you too. If you would, raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Ira Smith,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio
and the Charter and laws of the City of Bedford, Ohio,
and the Charter and laws of the City of Bedford, Ohio,
and faithfully, honestly,
honestly,
and impartially
and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the position of patrol officer
of the position of patrol officer
of the City of Bedford, Ohio.
of the City of Bedford, Ohio.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. All right. And would you like to introduce your family and who's here with you?
Oh yeah. This is my mom.
Hello.
My dad, my brother TJ, my two friends, Spencer and KG, Hayden, my brother, and Seth, my brother.
A lot of brothers here.
A lot.
We could keep filling up our police department. They're all so fun. So, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Tell us a little about where you came from, how you got here.
I came from Orville, Ohio. I'm adopted. I want to thank Ben Lang for getting me here. That's about it.
Chief?
Short and sweet.
He's a real talker.
First off, I'd like to thank council, as always, your support and encouraging us and aiding us and helping us to get out and recruit and find great candidates is very much supportive, as well as the city administration. You know, we try to stay ahead and never fall behind. And every time we ask, we're never told no. And it puts us in a great position for the future. So I want to start off with saying thank you. Thank you to all of you that came out today to support Ira. This has been one that's kind of been in the making for a while. I know he spoke up and thanked Ben Lang, who is a detective here and a very well-respected officer. And a while back, he came to me and he said, Mike, we have to revamp the rules to hire this kid because he's not 21 yet. And I go, I don't think we can do that. But keep him on board, keep him involved, keep him coming along. And he went so far as to become an auxiliary officer with us, to get in here, establish a name for himself, and a bit of a reputation, as well as putting himself through the Stark State Police Academy. So he did everything he possibly could have done to get here. And we're excited to have him, and I think he'll be a very valuable member of this place for many years to come. So congratulations, Ira.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And welcome.
Thank you.
And you guys, unless you want to stay for the regular meeting, you are welcome to come back with us to over to the police station.
Sure, steal
Thank
our
you.
audience.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you. Good luck.
I was 24. Okay. Let's move on with our unfinished business. Resolution number 2627-25.
Is a resolution approving and accepting the proposed 2025 tax budget for the year January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2026, and declaring an emergency.
And this will be our third reading. Can I have a motion for suspension by Longino, second by Asbury. Call the roll, please.
Cochee,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino.
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Fluharty, second by Spinks. Jennifer.
Thank you, Aaron. As you know, this is the third and final reading. It was published in the paper as required by law on May 28th. There was a public hearing on June 2nd. And so this is basically to approve the revenue side, the property tax rate, and give that information over to the county so they can give us our property taxes for next year, as well as the money for local government revenue, and we get a certificate of estimated resources. This tells us how much we could spend next year, and later this year we'll be going on and appropriating the funds to use it. So, and that's it.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Cochee,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino.
Yes.
Ordinance number 46-25.
Is an ordinance authorizing and directing the city manager to enter into a contract with the United Systems for the purchase of water meter reading equipment for the water department and declaring an emergency.
Have a motion for suspension by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll, please.
Cochee,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino.
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Smith, second by Asbury. Mike.
Thank you, Mayor. We are in need of updating the water reading equipment within the water department. The current equipment is not going to be supported at the end of 2025. United Systems is the sole provider of these ERTS reading equipment. for our meters in the state of Ohio. We have one of two options. First option is to replace all of our meters citywide with updated ERTs, which are the electronic reading transmitters, and this would cost well over $1 million. Actually, I think the last quote we received was close to $900,000, and that was with a substantial discount on top of it. The other alternative is to contract with United Systems for these updates that can read the ERTs, and our recommendation is to go this route.
Okay. Call the roll, please.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes. Reports, Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. A few items. I'd like to report that the new playground equipment at Taft Park has been installed. There is still some groundwork, some landscaping that has to take place, but the playground itself is completed, and that was done very quickly. So, job well done to staff at the Parks and Recreation Department as well as game time. Really substantial improvement.
Yeah. Asking for it for 20 years, but.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. Also like to report that each of the speed tables, 6, they have been installed, 1 in each ward. To date, the impact or the response has been positive from residents in the area. We'll assess those. Those are permanent. They're not going to be relocated or pulled up. We'll assess and look at, other streets, and if we do make recommendations to purchase additional ones, that will be included in the 2026 budget. Quick reminder that the family movie night is scheduled for this Friday, the 11th. That'll take place down on the public commons. Also like to make note that the Ellenwood Center is tentatively scheduled to be closed second week of August, and that'll run through most likely the end of the month. And that is to accommodate the improvements to the gymnasium roof, the parking lot improvements, as well as other work that's being conducted inside. We're trying to take care of all of that in a small amount of time to, so we have limited effect on other programming. So that will be closed. Also like to mention that, or just give a shout out to all of our staff and all the volunteers and Bedford Heights staff that helped with the July 4th parade. Also our Parks and Recreation Department. The warm weather, things have been very, very busy at the municipal pool. They've done a great job. We do have, certain policies and procedures in place when it comes to residents and non-residents and guests. These policies, they're not, they mirror a lot of other communities' policies. And, I just hope that everyone understands our first priority is to make sure that we can maintain a safe environment for all of those that are at the pool and utilizing that. So we do have that posted online for anybody that is interested in looking at that. And lastly, I just wanted to announce, it did get some attention with the local media, but the city was awarded a $2.5 million grant through the state of Ohio that can be utilized for the demolition and remediation of 44 Blaine, which is a former hospital site. There's no decision yet as far as if that is coming down. Our goal right now is to accumulate as many resources and tools as we can as we look to redevelop that site. We have had interest, there is interest. We've talked to a couple developers, we've given some site tours, spoken to other medical institutions. I will tell you the consistent message was, this has to come down, right? It's outdated, it needs to come down. Maybe it does need to, but the good thing is if we do get to that point, we've now secured the amount of money to take it down to where we don't have to utilize the city's funds or any settlement funds that we acquired through the litigation. So I have to give credit to Jen Kuzma charisma in our development department. This was a very heavy lift. We had to rely on, contacts at the state level and the county level. But we were awarded the funds, and that's a good thing, great thing for Bedford. And if we do end up taking that down, we will not oversee that project. It'll be overseen by the Cuyahoga County Land Bank. They will be in charge of it. They'll be in charge of bidding it out, monitoring it, inspecting it, doing the whole 9 yards to our satisfaction. So that also is important because it doesn't take away our time and focus on other things. And we don't have to contract with any outside inspection company to oversee that as well. So that's a good thing. With that, that's the end of my report.
Thank you. Mr. Law Director.
Thank you, no report, thank you all for coming, and be safe this summer.
This is Finance Director.
Thank you, Mayor. No report this evening.
And this week, I think I'll go first. Every now and then I get to. First, I want to say thanks to all the people involved with the 4th of July parade. Went off well, and it was fun. It was long. But a lot of people, a lot of kids along the way. Got rid of a lot of candy, and it's always a fun parade, and to see everybody out there. The other thing I want to mention is in our art projects in town, if you have seen, a few of our signal boxes are now wrapped with Bedford themed pictures.
Beautiful.
It's really fun. Our art committee of Sandy and Frank and I got that rolling rather quickly and got those out. There'll be some more coming out as soon as we can get together and figure out where we're going with that. I want to thank them for helping out. And also, if you've seen the mural on the side of Spirit Apotheosis on downtown Bedford, it's beautiful. There's they did a mural, and it says Bedford, Ohio, and it's made so you can stand in front of it and take a picture, so it looks like a postcard. It's really, really a cool picture. I stopped on there several times, talked to the artists doing it, and it just boggles my mind how they can have the vision to know what this is going to look like when they're all done with it. And it's really, really nice, and I want to thank Matt down at Spirit Apotheosis for getting that on the wall. And also we had 2 parades for some of us. We had a parade over at Woodside Village for Miss Francis. She was 101 years old. And the last few years we started doing a little parade around with, we had 2 police cars. Unfortunately, the fire department got called out on a call, so they couldn't be there. But I gave a little proclamation to Miss Francis, and then I think Sandy said, "How would you like to ride in the car?" Well, I had a car for the parade the next day that was loaned to me to use for the parades, and it was a nice 1964 Bonneville convertible, awesome car. And so Miss Francis got in with me, and we had a nice little chat going around, and she was just so thrilled. She told me, "I've never been in a parade before." And she was so happy, and she was waving at everybody. And the amazing thing about her, at 101, she, with her walker, she walks around the driveway of that whole complex. That's a long way. If you've ever driven around that building, at 101, she's still doing it. She's still sharp, and I just want to give her a shout out and a happy birthday at 101. That's really, really a neat thing. And also to remind everybody, fireworks are still illegal. People have read the state come out and said you can have fireworks, but they've failed to read all the way down where it says the local cities have final say in it, and we have not allowed fireworks, so our police were busy trying to go around these last few days with all the fireworks. And the worst part of it is some of these people just shot off all kind of stuff and rockets, spent tons of money, but didn't clean up after themselves. They left the streets a mess. Central School was a mess where all this stuff was, and nobody went back and cleaned it up. It's just inconsiderate, you know. They're illegal, but you can tolerate a little bit if people use some courtesy and stop shooting them at 11 o'clock when our noise ordinance kicks in. And so it's a reminder, fireworks are illegal, and in the surrounding cities also illegal. So don't do it. And after this, Mrs. Spinks.
You kind of saw a little bit of my thunder, not much of it, but I've had the pleasure of knowing Miss Frances White for like the past 9 years, and she is just, you would never know this lady was 101 years old, and she is feisty and funny, and she gets around a lot better than some of the younger ones at the at Woodside Village. But her actual birthday was 4th of July, and I'm over there all the time, called bingo. I still feel like I yell when I get done calling bingo. I feel like I'm still yelling at everybody. But she's funny. She tries to cheat at bingo. We've got a couple of them. But that's a fun part of my job, being able to go over there. We also started, me and some of the residents there started a community garden over there. They got this nice little fenced in, and actually Tony and his group is gonna help us do the bigger garden. We're hoping he helped us with the Dunham House garden last year, year before. So those guys, we need some heavy duty guys to come help us get it, but they can actually wheel their wheelchairs right up to the garden bed and work. So I remember a couple of months ago when we did it, I had one lady just was in tears because she was so excited. She said, I get to play in the dirt and get to watch things grow. So, and the big garden coming up, they're gonna name after me, which is awesome. But that's the fun part of my job that I get to do. It's not really a job, it's a job I get to have the honor of meeting and making all these friends over there. It's right in my backyard. Also talking about the art wraps that you've seen in town. Being on that committee, being a professional artist myself, and I've done some of these boxes, other places, we discussed, a couple of people said, oh, they're decals. Well, no, that's not a decal. The pros and cons of doing the acrylic on the electric box is it doesn't last long. And then you have the elements, and it takes, if it rains or if it's too hot, it's too cold or whatever, the artist can't get out there and do it. But then we take the actual artwork, and thank you to Jack Draga from the Bedford Historical Society, who did a lot of it and sent it to the company for us to make these wraps. They last longer, they're very vibrant, and with making decisions of what was going to go where. My whole vision, and with Frank and Sam, was at the 5 Points is to have it. I know Billy, shout out to Billy, keeps that area so pretty, but we wanted it to be like you would see a bird and butterflies and floral and stuff all year round. Every time you drive in to Bedford and go down there, something that would keep you cheery, and then bring some of the historic part of Bedford as well. So it's an honor to be on that committee. We've got more things coming up. I'm collaborating with a young artist, so I'll have some of my artwork out there as well with one of our young artists. We have a lot of very talented young artists here in Bedford. Not a thank you, but a congrats to our new officer, Sip. It's another thing that I love about this job is, as a whole, council as a whole, this is how we make Bedford safer. Not single one of a council person is gonna, people say, oh, I'm gonna make Bedford safer. That's not true. Council people, we don't do that. We do it together. And with our civil service and stuff, that's how we make Bedford safer. We do it together. We hire these guys, we keep our staffs up to make our neighborhoods, we don't go out there, you know, and keep our neighborhoods safe. Our guys do. So, let's see, and Strawberry Festival was very successful. 202 pounds of strawberries. Thank you to our mayor and his wife, who we could not put this big event on without them, especially his wife, and to all the volunteers that help us do this event. Kudos to our police department with our chief, who sat down and talked to our committee, which the mayor and his wife are on the committee. It's just 4 of us, and Betsy Lee, and we wanted to be proactive and stop anything before it started. We didn't want something to happen like in Lyndhurst or anywhere else. So the thing was, called chief, he came in, he met with us, and we were like, we're gonna send a message. And we were lucky that all these news stations, I think pretty much everyone came out and got the word out there and helped us get some free advertising. So it went, you know, I think we really didn't have an incident at all. So thank you to our police department, and we are already planning on things to make it even safer. We want our kids to come out and enjoy it, but they also want them to come out with their family and enjoy it. We had a lot of positive feedback about it. So it was a lot of garbage to pick up afterwards. Thank you to my husband for going out with me after Monday and helping me clean up the downtown area. Congrats. So the 4th of July week was very, very busy. We had 2 things, me and the mayor and some other council had 2 things to do on July 3rd. We also had a retirement party for Steve Copeland, who retired from one of our firefighters. So that was another really great day. That was a busy day. And then the fire department showed up at Woodside Village, and then they had to leave and go on a call. Let's see, we're going to... if you call one of us and you don't give your name and you have an unknown number, we have no way of knowing who you are or call you back. So don't say the council didn't call you back. If you call from a block number or unknown number, this one lady called and she was not in my ward. I'll answer calls no matter what. I'm known for that. But make sure if you do call a block number or unknown number, please give us your name and your address and a number where we can contact you so we can help you out. And hearts go out to Texas, all the flood victims, all the kids, all the people's lives that was lost. Very sad. And end of report.
Thank you. Mr. Fluharty.
Thank you. All I got to report is we had our annual Guardians camp here, and it was a success a couple weeks ago. Probably had about 45 kids. Cody Allen came out, the former reliever for the tribe. Him and I worked out with the kids a little bit, and Bill already said that he's going to take care of them again next year as long as these kids keep coming out. So, so far, 2 years in a row, it's been a hit for the summer. Hopefully, we get these kids to start playing some baseball, though. That not just come to a camp. We need them to start signing up. So hopefully, we can get them to start signing up. In the report. You guys got a meeting over there?
Sorry, we were just clarifying.
I'm the only one who's well dressed today. I just want to make sure I didn't, I missed that memo. I just want to know there was something else going on. In the report. I've been done 10 minutes ago.
The Guardians want to sign you up.
They need help. Yes, they do.
Mr. Smith.
Good evening. I hope everyone had a nice and safe 4th of July. I would like to congratulate Ira Smith sticking with it, especially him having determination to put himself through the academy. Hopefully he'll have a safe, long career here in Bedford. End of report.
Thank you. Mr. Asbury.
That was quick.
Go.
I had another thought to write down.
congratulations to our new patrolman officer Smith. Again, hope you have a safe and long career, and congratulations on the retirement of firefighter Copeland. It's 4 years younger than me, darn it. Enjoy your retirement, sir. Thanks to everyone who put together the Independence Day Parade. From where we were at, we're up in front. It seemed like everything went pretty well. There may have been some issues with kids trying to get closer to the cars and the trucks to get candy. I was trying to warn some of the kids, I don't want to see you get hurt, so stay back, stay back. My elbows inside here are still hurting from throwing the candy. Really do. Because you have to try and get it to the grass so they stay out of the street. So, but it was a good day. Chipper service for July is this week, so hopefully you got on the list. If not, the next one is August 4th. Call to make sure you get on the list. Summer concert series this Wednesday, July 9th. Herb Wilbon Jr. and his band, international jazz recording artists. And then Wednesday, July 16th, Jewel Big Green, who's local, pop, hip hop, and rock artist. And Wednesday, July 30th, Tweed, an Irish folk and contemporary classics hits band. And these are all from 7 to 9 on the square, weather permitting. Just to let people know, and I do post a lot online, so I've posted about these already, but the weeds at the old PNC building, they're just out of hand. And the bushes on West Grace at Edgewood, those are out of hand also, and that's a safety issue. We've talked about it. They have been issued, not citations, but notices that they have to comply with a compliance date. Building department is following up with them on those compliance dates, and I think, did we discuss that the city is actually going to be cutting PNC?
Yes, the compliance date was today.
Okay.
And it was not addressed, so it is on our list to take care of, and they'll be assessed.
Okay. So those will get taken care of. The one on the bushes on Edgewood and West Grace, I'll get a follow-up on that also with you. And one other thing, we had spoken about it a week or two ago, the bushes that were on Bell, 520 Bell, that were leaning over into the street. It was either the resident or the neighbor of the resident went and trimmed them back, so they're not in the street anymore, but it looks really bad. Did we ever find out if that's city property or if that's the residents?
I think it's the residents, but I'm going to confirm that.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Because if it's ours, maybe we should just rip it right on. That should do it. Stay cool out there, and thanks for coming.
Mr. Longino.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Only thing about going last, they probably done covered a bunch of the stuff that I was going to talk about, so I started scratching off the stuff I was going to say. One of my main things was about the speed tables and just speeders in general. Because naturally, I'm getting the calls when somebody see a speed table, they want it in their ward as well. And as Mr. Malice told you, every ward got one. I got 1.5.
So did I.
Yeah, you did. So we got 1.5.
We share a street.
We share a street, so we got, yeah, so we got 1.5, so, what everybody else is saying. Then I had to tell somebody, I had one of my residents come by my house and we were sitting there talking, and he said, look at that car speed. I said, there's no way that car can speed, it just turned a corner. 70 miles an hour, that's the number everybody likes to always tell you, doing 70 miles an hour. I was like, wow. I got certified on a radar with a radar gun, and I couldn't even tell that. But you can look and tell it was going 70 miles an hour. But I told him, also, going to wrench when I got certified when I was a police officer, the optical illusion of turning the corner makes you think the car is going faster than it is, and it's not, because it just looks like that. And also coming over a little bit of an embankment, the car also looks like it's going faster, and it's not. And I couldn't believe that till I actually started hitting the radar gun and seeing that, oh man, that car isn't going that fast. But my instructor was telling me, but it looks like that. So a lot of times when people see these cars, they think that, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of speeders out there. But there's also, the gentleman told me, he said, y'all can stop this. And I said, give me a minute, tell me how. Like I had the one guy tell me we could deputize somebody. And I could be a little blunt sometimes. I said, that was a ridiculous idea that you just said, because we're not about to deputize somebody to stand out there and stop the speeders, So I said, so that happens, but people think what they can do, and I said, so even if you put a police officer there, remember, the police officer can't sit there for 8 hours or 12 hours. He's going to have to make other calls. What happens speed when the police officer is there, and then when the police officer leaves, they speed. But we do have a traffic bureau now, so I'm sure that's gonna help a lot from in the past. So I look forward to that. So like I said, speed tables are gonna help in that area. Yard cleanup. So I cleaned up your yard in the summertime. It's hot. I know we had a lot of rain during the spring, but we gotta keep our yards together, because I had some complaints about other neighbors' yards and how they need to keep them up. So that's one thing that we have to do to make sure. Once again, Officer Smith, like everybody else, congratulations. And I always talk about this. I did 5 years on the Civil Service Commission, so I always got to see when the police officers, when they were, when they came through the ranks, as far as us looking at their applications and things like that. And as a police officer for almost 40 years, definitely want to say congratulations and be safe. And if he's watching this, do yoga. That'll be the best thing you ever do. If I could go back and do yoga as a rookie, I would, because believe me, when you meet a cop, they're going to tell you, oh, I got the best chiropractor in the world, because we all have bad backs from in and out of that car and wearing all that stuff all those years, and bad feet too. So do yoga. It's going to help. It's going to help. That's what I meant to tell him. But every time somebody swears in, I always say, do yoga. Can't go wrong. On that, I yield my time.
Thank you. Get on with the new business.
Yes, the next thing on the agenda is a motion to approve or deny or modify the Planning Commission's decision to approve Tiffany Johnson's application to operate a residential care facility at 446 Turney Road with the conditions that it needs to be registered as a rental and a fee paid, and that there be no more than 4 female participants permitted by our Bedford Codified Ordinance 1915-24, approved by the Ohio Department of Mental Health and/or the Cuyahoga County Board of Mental Health, with no off-street parking. Again, you can approve it as read, you can amend it and approve it with other restrictions, reduce whatever occupants if that's what you might want to do, or deny. So is there a motion or a modification, or is anyone here on behalf of the applicant or wish to speak on the issue? Hearing none, does anybody want to make that motion? Can I get a motion to that effect? I'll just say, to ratify that motion? Or make a motion to amend it?
Make a motion to amend that to no more than 3, being, and I'm making that because space is small, and I can't see 4 adult women living in that little small house. So I would like to make that amend to 3.
Anyone else have any comments or modifications? So let me, is it okay to, is everybody in agreement with that amendment, I guess? Maybe take a roll call there.
Call the roll. We need a second. Longino.
Gotcha, good idea.
Cochi,
Is that about the amendment?
For the amendment, yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
With the amendment, yes.
Longino.
Yes.
All right, is there a motion to approve it? Does you want me to reread it so we're all clear? Okay, I can do that.
Before you do it, you said off-street parking.
No off-street parking.
No on-street parking.
No. Well, on-street parking, is that the term? That can be, what is it, on-street or off-street?
Off-street would be their driveway.
Gotcha, all right, good catch there, Mayor. That's why he gets the big bucks there. But anyway, so the motion is to approve the Planning Commission, will modify the Planning Commission's decision and to approve Tiffany Johnson's application for a residential facility at 446 Turney Road in Bedford, Ohio, upon the following conditions: that it needed to be registered as a rental and inspected, and rental fee paid, and that there be no more than 3 female participants permitted by our Bedford Codified Ordinance 1915-24, which pretty much is but anyway, approved by the Ohio Department of Mental Health and/or the Cuyahoga County Board of Mental Health, with no on-street parking. You get a motion to that effect?
Motion by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll, please.
Cochee,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Can I make a comment before I vote?
Yes, sir.
I was hoping somebody would be here.
I'm not here for that, but I'm here as a citizen, and I would like to say something before we vote, if that might make a difference.
No,
Say so.
It's not part.
it's not part of this.
I was hoping somebody would be here to clarify, because the plans that are drawn only shows one bedroom. Now, I've heard there are three, but it only shows one bedroom on the sketch. And the county page that I looked, the auditor's page, just shows the size of the house. It doesn't show any rooms. So with that, I vote no.
Yes.
Who's next? Oh, you guys all vote? Okay, so it's five, passes. 5-1 then, right? Okay. Gotcha.
Okay,
There you go.
perfectly clear.
Yes. Sorry about that. I just want to make sure the conditions are part of the record since she's not here. And if she has any questions, she understands what her obligations are. All right.
All right, resolution number 2630-25.
All right, so we have a ordinance or a resolution opposing House Bill 335 and urging the Ohio General Assembly to reject any legislation that eliminates inside millage and transfers local budgetary authority to a county budget commission and declaring an emergency.
Can I have motion for approval? Pardon? Oh, yeah. Oh, we need three on this? That's not a yes, no?
Correct.
Okay, I need a motion for suspension. By Asbury, second by Smith. Call the roll, please.
Cochee,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino.
Yes.
Resolution, excuse me, resolution number 2631-25.
Third and final.
Start over here. Motion for third and final.
Which one?
Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll, please. Yes.
Where's your reset button? Can you have a reset button?
I was in the heat all day.
So there's a House bill out there, 335. It's proposes sweeping changes to property tax system, including elimination of unvoted inside millage for counties, municipalities, and school districts. So what that means for the city of Bedford is a reduction of around 14% of city revenues. Overall, that's just over $1.2 million that this is proposing to take away from our city in particular. It will affect all cities in the state of Ohio. And those funds pay for parts of services for police and fire, pension, and for general revenues in the general fund. So if those revenues go away, general fund will have to pay for all of it instead of these separate funds that pay for the pension amounts. So I'm just proposing that we send a letter over to our representatives as well as this resolution once approved to urge them to not vote for pass this House bill.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Cochee,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino.
Yes.
Resolution number 2631-5.
Is a resolution of the city of Bedford of Ohio supporting the Ohio Commission for the United States Semi-Quincentennial Centennial 250th anniversary.
I have a motion in support of the resolution. Spinks, second. Oh, we still need suspension?
Yeah, yes.
A motion for suspension? Already second by Spinks.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Smith, second by Asbury. Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. Next year, there is going to be the 250th anniversary of the country, and members of council, we had formed a committee to start discussing, planning activities throughout next year to honor that. There is a state of Ohio organization, the Ohio Commission, that is starting to coordinate with other municipalities, villages, townships. They've provided grant funding for different types of events. It's really the hub of information, idea sharing, and be part of this celebration next year. We did submit to be a member of that following our committee's initial meeting. We're also discussing some of the events. The next step is obviously to pass this resolution, which we're recommending this evening.
Thank you. Call the roll.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes.
Ordinance number 47-25.
Is an ordinance amending ordinance number 62-24, making additional appropriations for current expenditures of the city of Bedford during the year 2025 and declaring an emergency, basically amending our budget.
A motion for suspension by Longino, second by Asbury. Call the roll, please.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Fluharty, second by Spinks.
Thank you, Mayor. So this is an appropriation ordinance for this year's budget, mainly due to capital improvement projects that we've approved, funds moving from general fund over to capital projects fund. We have some repairs to 890 Broadway that need to be appropriated. Bedford Commons, we just reallocated the funds a little bit to make sure they're being paid out of the proper funds. And some grant monies for opioid funds for the AEDs, and fire department grant, and a Supreme Court grant.
Thank you. Questions? Call the roll, please.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes.
Ordinance number 48-25.
Is an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with the Cuyahoga County Planning Commission for professional planning services and declaring an emergency.
Have a motion for suspension by Asbury, second by Longino. Call the roll, please.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Mike?
The city was awarded a grant through Cuyahoga County Planning Commission earlier this year to update our citywide master plan. Our master plan was last updated 2008, 2009, I believe. We held our initial meeting with the county planning last week, reviewed expectations. Obviously, there's going to be public meetings, and we'll be seeking public input throughout the project. It is an 18-month project period, so final product or plan will be submitted at the end of 2026. Total project will cost about $150,000. The city will be responsible for $15,000. We'll encumber that this year, but it'll be paid in 2026.
Good. Call the roll, please.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes.
Ordinance number 49-25.
Is an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with fire decks for the new turnout gear for the fire department and declaring an emergency.
A motion for suspension by Longino, second by Smith. Call the roll, please.
Cochee,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino.
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Fluharty, second by Spinks. Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. The city was awarded a grant for approximately $17,000. We had worked to, and obviously as John had mentioned, this is for the replacement of 4 sets of turnout gear. We received a quote of $16,156 for that through Fire Decks, which is an Omnia partner and sole source provider. Or, I'm sorry, not sole source, they're Omnia partner.
Yes. Call the roll, please.
Cochee,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino.
Yes.
Ordinance number 50-25.
Is authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Game Time for the replacement of park equipment at the Ellenwood Recreation Center and Taft Park and declaring an emergency.
Motion for suspension by Asbury, second by Smith. Call the roll, please.
Cochee,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino.
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. Upon inspection, the swings at the swing set structure at the Ellenwood Center as well as Taft Park are in need of replacement. Those need to be removed ASAP. We did budget this year $75,000 in the Parks Department for improvements, and our recommendation is to work with Game Time to replace that equipment as soon as possible.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Cochee,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino.
Yes.
Ordinance number 51-25.
Is an ordinance authorizing the city manager to apply for fiscal year 2026 county developmental block grant and the community development supplemental grant funds through the Cuyahoga County Department of Development and declaring an emergency.
Motion for suspension, Fluharty, second by Spinks. Call the roll, please.
Cochee,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino.
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Asbury, second by Smith. Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. This is for a $150,000 grant through Cuyahoga County. This will fund the full replacement of the playground equipment at Greencroft Park. Provided those renderings to City Council in a recent memo. This project will be slated to start in the spring of 2026, and it will be completed in early summer of 2026.
Call the roll, please.
Cochee,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino.
Yes.
Ordinance number 52-25.
Is an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with, Villaggio Company for the 2025 road program and declaring an emergency.
Motion for suspension by Fluharty, second by Spinks. Call the roll, please.
Cochee,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino.
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Asbury, second by Smith. Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. Just for clarification, it's Vallejo.
Is that, you should know, it's a
Just so there's no confusion. The Vallejo Company, the city advertised for bids for our 2025 road program. Included in that bid was preventative maintenance items as well as street striping. We received a separate grant through Cuyahoga County for all materials associated with street striping and preventative maintenance, so we bundled that into this bid. We received 4 bids. The Vallejo Company was the lowest of all 4. It will include resurfacing of the Palmetto extension as you enter Palmetto Woods, as well as a large portion of West Glendale. There is a section in this bid that currently we're looking at non-performing, although we're going to see how this budget comes in, because part of the bid includes contingency dollars, is Daisy. That would be the 3rd Street. But as it reads tonight, we're asking council to approve for a total of $564,716.53, of which approximately $25,000 will be reimbursed by Cuyahoga County, leaving the city's responsibility slightly over $540,000. And we'll modify and see, or we'll monitor and see how this project goes, and if we're able to come in under and not use any contingency dollars or reduce some of the preventative maintenance items, we could then try to accomplish Daisy to keep it within that, that budget. I will add that, as I mentioned to council in the work session, that one of the things that we're seeing is the cost is increasing significantly. You know, for $500,000, we used to be able to do 5 or 6 streets. You know, we're going to do 2. A portion of West Glendale came in at, I think, $260-some thousand. Palmetto Extension was almost $160,000. These streets were some of the oldest since they've been resurfaced, but unfortunately we have many more. So it's going to be something that we need to look at. You know, in a perfect world, we'll be able to increase our annual budget slightly to maybe do 1 or 2 more a year. But the reality is we may be looking at, in the next couple of years, if we look to issue some debt to do some other large-scale projects that we're going to be considering, either wastewater treatment plant or other projects, it may make sense for us to explore the possibility of doing a larger road program to try to get caught up a little bit. But, you know, in whole, that amount of money that we started budgeting in 2017 used to go a lot farther than it is today. And streets used to last a lot longer than they do today. Streets aren't lasting 25 years. So, like everything else, costs are going up and we're going to have to adjust accordingly.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes.
Ordinance number 53-25.
The last one, guys, it's an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Phillips Paving LLC for repaving the parking lot at the Ellenwood Recreation Center and declaring an emergency.
Motion for suspension by Longino, second by Asbury. Call the roll, please.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Mike?
Thank you, Mark. These improvements to the Ellenwood Community Center were awarded a grant through Cuyahoga County for $150,000. The city was awarded a grant. And we earmarked those grant funds for the replacement of the roof in the gymnasium, which is in very poor condition. It was over 35 years old, as well as repaving the east parking lot. The good news is both of those items were on our capital improvement plan that we needed to address. So being able to secure a grant to help cover that obviously is less money that we have to, less city money we have to spend. Following the roof contract, which was approved earlier this year, we went out to bid. We did request a base bid for the east lot, but we asked for an alternate bid to include the west lot as well. Just for clarification, the east lot is the baseball field side, the west lot is the pavilion side. The east lot is in much worse condition than the other, but depending on what the costs are, if we can do both, that'd be great. Unfortunately, we're not going to do both. We're recommending this evening just to award the contract for the base bid, which would be the east lot. That cost is slightly over $133,000. We have, following the roof replacement, we have approximately $87,000 remaining. So we'll be able to accomplish both of those projects, and it'll only cost the city $46,752. And then we'll work to address the west lot in the future. But our recommendation is to approve this contract And we're gonna try to schedule both of those during that period I mentioned in my report in August when the building is shut down.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Cochee,
Yes.
Spinks.
Yes.
Fluharty.
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino.
Yes.
Okay, we come to that portion of the agenda for hearing of citizens. If you wish to speak, please come forward, state your name, your address, and your comment.
Barbara McDaniel, 186 Summer Road. I have a serious issue with 180 Summer Road, my neighbor. I feel sorry for them, it's rental property, I think they don't know what to do. A half of a tree has been laying there for almost a month. It's all dried up now, so it's really a nice fire hazard. And all that's left is the stalk, which is like 3 stories high, and one big limb, which is hanging over the sidewalk. Last year, that same tree dropped another big limb, which was on the sidewalk and also on Innes Avenue. And the building department supposedly sent them a letter. You can't track down the company, it's LLC, LLC, LLC. And it needs to be taken care of. It is a really big tree. I've been there 53 years. It was old then, and it's been shedding ever since. And it just needs to be removed. And I don't think a renter should have to budget $1,000 or whatever it's gonna cost to get it out of there. It's on my hedge. It almost hit my car.
So and I'm absolutely aware of it. I had shared with the council members, we did track down the mailing address to the property owner. They were issued the notice of violation. I just checked, they have until the 18th to have all of that removed from the property. If not, they're gonna be in municipal court.
I don't think it's gonna happen, and it's getting to the point where it's really
Sure, I
crappy.
I understand. We have to issue that notice.
I
and
know.
go through that process before we can enter a property to do it and assess it. But they were issued that notice, actually I think it was a couple weeks ago, last month. And we'll be out there on the 19th. And if it's not gone on the 19th, we'll escalate it.
Well, I hope lightning doesn't strike it, because I don't need a bonfire in my yard. So, okay, and I just have 2 quick questions about the hospital. If it's torn down, does that include the medical building?
No, that will not.
That will
include
be a
the-
separate entity?
Yes.
Okay, my other question is, can we now maybe have a rumble strip toward the bottom of Innes? Everybody else is getting them, why can't we have one? I have watched the traffic every day, north and south, the cars that come running down, invariably every other car goes up Innes. And nobody stops when they're coming down the hill. And I've complained about that before. End of complaints.
Thank you.
Kathy Williams, 491 Lamson. Talk about trees. When will the dead trees be cut on the tree lawns on Lamson Avenue? They cut down 2, and there's 8 left. Any idea?
I can check with the arborist. I know we have a lot of trees that we need to remove.
Well, 4 of them have been dead for years, so maybe give them a pinch. The other question is, on the grants from the county, are those 2 grants or just 1 for the playground equipment?
1 grant.
Okay,
Yeah, that's 1 grant. For
Okay.
the Greencroft grant?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 1 grant.
okay,
It's a $150,000 grant.
okay. And the third is,
quality of life issue. Our police department will do the best they can, but it has to go through dispatch. And if I ever had to go through what dispatch did to me on June 28th, I don't know who to call after that. I don't know if I'll call you directly or I would call the chief directly. They are rude, they are condescending, and we're not crazy. We're not old people. I'm a senior citizen, but I don't need to be, are you sure, ma'am? That just drives me up a wall. I know we've discussed it. What has happened since then is still going on. I refuse to call. There has been domestic violence. There has been more juveniles crawling through bedroom windows. And it's gotten to the point where these rental properties need to be either an administrative search warrant put on them or contact whoever the owners are, because they're long-term owners. And the only good thing out of it is we have now more neighbors sitting on the front porch watching. I don't know, they won't call, they call me. Call the police. No, you call. No one calls. Dispatch has to get more cordial? I don't know what the word is. I know they're not lawyers. I know they're not police officers. They're just everyday Joes that trained for a job. They need to do better. And as a quality of life, I expect better. Thank you.
Rosemary Wetzel, 361 Turney Road. I want to thank my council person here for sending all those people over there about my neighbors and my trees, and their trees that are hanging over in my yard. The young man came by and he took the pictures of my neighbor who was dead from the neck up. The pictures of the neighbors on the other side who are dead from the neck down, because they are really dead. But I just want to know, the trees from the one neighbor's house, the dead limbs are falling in my yard, and they're falling on my road. I called the guys who would take down the trees, but they said they would have to go through his yard to get to that tree to remove some of those limbs. I don't think he's going to agree to that.
Probably not.
What can I do? I'll pay for them, because they're falling, rolling off, hitting my roof, rolling off on me if I'm standing out there.
We could try, I look at it, I think you mentioned it a few days ago. Yeah, we could take, I could try to call the guy.
We can try to communicate it through the law department.
See if, why wouldn't he, if they're dead for sure, so.
Well, the limbs are falling off and, from a tree.
We'll be doing him a favor, really, you'll be doing him a favor, so. I could try. Does the owner live there or no?
Yes, he does.
I don't want to say his name in public here, but do you have the information?
Yeah, we can get it, we can try.
Thanks.
We will.
Sabrina Future.
My address, I'm in Ward 3. I first of all want to say, have patience with me, because truly I have anxiety from some things that I've heard. And I used to deal with anxiety. That's the house I live in. I moved from Maple to this house because I purchased this multi-family so single women can have a decent school district, because I have homes in Cleveland. But I worked myself, because the last holic, I was a workaholic and I'm still one. But I got anxiety from, and just the way I feel inside. I'm not even gonna discuss some of the notes that I've taken. I'm gonna try to prioritize them. But I wanna apologize to you, Ms., because the reason I chose Bedford is because it reminded me of where I grew up in Southern Illinois. And God has told me to stick and stay. I would be in Bedford Heights if I had my own way. But I love this country city. So I want to say thank you for your service of what you do. We may not all agree, but we're going to have to learn how to disagree in harmony and be professional and have conversations where everyone is being treated like something. Now, I done looked at everybody when they talk, but 3 of the council people are not even looking at me. From how I was raised, and I tell my grandchildren, when people talk to you, look them in their eye. That's only respectful. I'm 63. I'm a senior too now, ma'am. And that's why I'm nervous. Because when I moved into this house, I worked myself sick. So I said, let me go to the house that I bought to help other people and help myself. I've been there 25 years. I walked my land today, and I realized my house is 100 years old. I don't know, Miss Spinks. I need help to find out, do I live in a historic house? I need help from you to help me know the history of my house. Thank you for your service. But I would also like to know why I'm on this subject is how can I help? Because all my life as a child, I've been a helper and a rescuer. Some reason I'm having anxiety and stress is because when I was a child, and my mother left my father, who was an educator, taught science in Cleveland public schools, but he was an alcoholic. So this married woman with 3 kids left Cleveland and ran to Warrensville because she knew she couldn't afford a babysitter. So I'm going to go to a place where my kids will be safe when they're home alone. And can I be truthful and honest? When I lived in Illinois, that was the happiest time of my life. In a 3-room, not 3-bedroom, a 3-room shotgun house with no bathroom. I know how to use a pot. I hate beans, but I'll eat them again if I have to. Why am I saying this? I wasn't planning on saying this. I came to thank you guys for your service because we just had 4th of July. We live in the United States of America, and we are the most divided nation now. We should be ashamed of ourselves. But guess what? I'm not ashamed anymore. I'm too old to play games. I never played house, and I don't play church. I've played the life game, but I'm living life. I'm nervous as a wreck right now because of what I heard. Because when my mother left my father, that's when I experienced racism because of the color of my skin. I'm putting this address on record. We moved to Dale Bridge in Warrensville. Literally, my mother was told they didn't have a vacancy. I don't know who this organization was, but they sent a lady that looked like you all, and by the way, my grandfather looked like you all, okay? So I love everybody and anybody. Mental illness, homeless, single mom, divorce, whatever. I love everybody. And if I can help anybody, I will. That's why I bought that house at 15 Charles Street. Reason I said it now, because I'm not afraid to die, and I'm not afraid of anyone. I've already apologized to God in 2019 for not doing what he called me to do, because I'm respecting preachers, pastors, priests, and politicians more than I respected God. I don't want Mr. Flahurry's seat. You can pay me to take that. I have a lot of friends who's council people. I respect council, but I respect God more than I respect anybody. So when I take my last breath, my first step is going to be into heaven and not hell. Thank you, Jesus. But I won't play with life. I won't.
We don't either, ma'am.
Sometimes I don't know from what I'm hearing. Because I'm scared to call and not get no help. My mother took her last breath in the Bedford hospital.
The kids were born there.
That's why I couldn't go for a while. I don't play. This is an honor. What I'm doing on my grandmother and my mother. The house that I live in at 15 Charles Street, I bought that house with money. It was a bank house. I asked my parents to buy it. They said, I'm not buying that house. Then I asked my girlfriend, who I worked with the government, federal government, let's buy this house together so we can help some people. I don't want to buy that house. I was like, I ain't gonna be no fool. I think I know a good deal. So I bought it. Living in Maple and had no intentions of coming to Bedford. But I'm there now. And as everybody know, everything's going up but people's pay. So the reason I'm saying this is speed tables. If I heard you correctly, they're permanent. Did I hear that correctly?
Correct. We don't plan to move that.
Okay, because that was one of the things I wanted to talk about. Because I wanted to know how much they cost. That was one of the things I wanted to know. You don't have to tell me now, but...
It's approximately like $5,000 a piece.
Okay.
Approximately.
Okay.
We spent about $35,000 on all of them last year.
And I thank you guys for doing it, because we do have an issue with speeders and all of that, kids doing stuff. But to be honest, I don't know if it's the most effective, and what I'm saying is I drive over them and I can almost speed over them, to be honest. And I live right there, Charles, with that speed table, but I don't think it's effective or more impactful to really stop them. So I'm hoping that if it's not effective, that we'll come to the table and reconsider doing something that they are more effective. They're not just there, but they're slowing people down. The next thing is the parks being remodeled. You know I live on Charles with a park. For some strange reason, when I lived in Maple, I was on Oakwood with a park. I didn't plan it, that's just how God does it. And I'm grateful because that's how I connect with the youth in the community. My question is, how many parks do we have in Bedford?
Many. I don't have an exact number. It's over 10.
Okay, so if I can get a number, I would appreciate it. The next thing I would like to know, because I didn't hear anything about Interstate. I know we did some things, and I would like to say thank you guys, because if I'm not mistaken, the baseball field was grass, and then they changed it. And I'm grateful, because my grandson, he's not old enough to go to the rec to play, and that was one of my plans for this summer. He'll be 4 the 12th of this month. And we're going over there to have a family baseball with my 4-year-old and my 15-year-old. So I appreciate that. Thank you, because I didn't understand why we even put grass on it. But it kind of leads me to the next question is, will citizens be notified on some of these opportunities to bring different things in our community so we can have a voice before the final decision is made? We live here. I mean, you guys have a big budget that you're making decisions on. My budget is not that big because I'm a senior now. And everything is going up, but except our stuff. And I'm a believer in people coming together to help each other, but I signed up for the community garden. But because I have issues, I didn't think about it. I can't bend over because Arthur and finally caught up with me, and osteoporosis is trying to attack me. So thank you for the community garden.
I have nothing to do with the community.
But I thought I heard you say something about community garden.
At Woodside.
I don't even know where Woodside is. Where is that?
It's off of Rockside. It's a senior living. It's a senior's been there forever.
Okay, well, praise God. We never put our people in the senior place, and we take care of them. That's how I grew up. So, okay, thank you for that. And I think I'm hearing this demolition, the veterinarian place. How much does it cost to take down that veterinarian?
I think it's between $65,000 and $75,000.
And if I'm not mistaken, I was told at the last council meeting that we have got approved to get it removed, condemned.
It's gonna get removed, but we're not doing the work, the county land bank's doing the work. And we received grant money to do it.
I thought
we
we received the money. I thought I heard that at the last council meeting.
No, we didn't receive it. At the last meeting, you asked me, is it coming down? And I said, yes. And you said, thank you. But yes, we received, I believe, 75% of the cost to take it down from the county land bank, but they manage the whole project. They're gonna be the ones to bid.
Well, I'm calling them. I'm just letting you know, no disrespect. I have patience, long patience. And I think I've been more than patient, but for me, that's another reason I have anxiety. I'm sitting there hearing about parks and swings being put in parks, and yet I have a building that is a safety hazard. I hate Mr. Salvy's not here, because if I'm not mistaken, he's for community safety or something. But every time I walk past there, I think about that young girl in the 4th District of Cleveland who they literally kidnapped her, put her in an abandoned house. I don't forget that. And every time I walk past there, that's what I want the building down. Because it's not only ugly and it's an eyesore, it's dangerous. So if I'm hearing you correctly, we still don't have a time frame for that.
I can't commit to a time frame right now.
No, I asked you to commit. I said we still don't have one. I'm trying to see if I'm hearing you correctly.
Yeah, I don't have a time. Will it come down this year? Yes, it's gonna come down this year.
Praise God.
I
for
can't
that.
give you a timeline. I don't want.
That's good enough, because I've been waiting years. Like I said, I'm patient.
Okay, ma'am, please wrap it up. Has another gentleman I think wants to speak.
Okay, the next thing, bushes. I walk in my neighborhood. I'm not going to say the place, because I went in the place myself, because sometimes things take too long. That's kind of minor. But I've broken my ankle 3 times. One time downtown on the sidewalk, because they had unleveled, not downtown Bedford, let me make that clear, Cleveland. I broke it for the 3rd time, the same ankle. So people having bushes that block the sidewalk, that's a safety hazard and a health hazard for me. I went into the business and asked them, could they cut it? I'm gonna follow up with them by next week. That gives them 2 weeks. If not, I'm coming to you guys. I'm not even gonna say their name on public, because I'm not here to badmouth nobody or make nobody look bad. But I am here to get some action, because I don't have the strength that I used to, and I don't have the time. And I just want to leave and say, I have an aunt that was 108. And after 100 some years old, when we was leaving church or family reunion, she was getting out the car and had a problem. And she said, oh, I think I'm getting old. I hope I live like she did. God bless America. God bless y'all.
Peterich, 137 Sand Circle. And this has to do with that intersection at Edgewood and West Grace. We were talking before about the bushes there. All right, because I come up that way all the time. I always cut around the railroad track for that reason. Every time I come up, it causes me to think, and as the city basically, if you take one of your Crown Victorias and go up the hill there, have you ever driven up to see how far you have to drive out to be able to see around the corner, since there's a corner on West Grace there? So if you have to figure out how fast you have to pull out. But when they look at
the house on the right, with the hedges.
Yeah, with the hedges, and then the one on the other side too, but not so much that, it's from the other direction. I see that, I don't see that as a, how pretty it is, but just as a major safety factor, because I've shocked that there hasn't been accidents there yet on that. So I just would like, if the police department just goes there, and but again, take one of your Crown Victorias, not an SUV, because most people don't have an SUV. But if they were to look in there and be able to see how far they'd have to get into the street before they could see if a car was, let's say, coming around the corner, and they estimated that 35 miles an hour. Okay?
Council. Frank Spiker, 20 William Street. Mike, this question's for you. I'd like to ask about the Northfield Bridge project. The company's doing a terrific job on it, but I did want to ask two questions in regards to it. I noticed the steel plates down at the bottom over where they redid the sidewalk. Are they planning to sandblast those and paint those or coat them or something?
That is the plan, yes.
Okay, because
When they first did the sidewalk and they left it, we had questioned it. Even though it's not our project and it's completely the state's project, they had indicated that they'd be back to do that. So as of right now, yes.
I was just wondering, because I'd hate to see all that good work go to waste because of corrosion and everything. The second question is, I went through the cut-through down under the bridge to head over to Hawthorne Parkway late last week, and I noticed one of the abutments, if you're going towards Hawthorne Parkway on the right-hand side, there's chunks of concrete that are coming off of that badly. And you can see the superstructure down at the bottom where where it goes kind of like, I'm not a construction guy or anything like that, but you can see it, it's definitely visible and.
We'll check, we'll take a look at that.
Okay, perfect, thank you, appreciate it.
Anyone else? Can I have a motion for adjournment, please? By Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll, please.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Longino?